Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you for joining us today. Um, I hope you're having a great one. I hope it's good for you. We have been busy here. Um, I spent most of the afternoon up at Star Cottage Studio. I got some shipping done, but I mainly had to go up and clean out the pellet stove. I had it turned up really high last night to try to keep it as warm as possible, and it fills up very quickly when I do that. So I had to go up and clean it out again today. And while I was up there, I packaged and shipped a few things. I got some other things ready to ship, but I couldn't quite ship them out because I need to do a few more things for some of the orders. And I dropped some things off at the post office today. Then I went grocery shopping. It's been a busy day. And I hope your day has been good. It is frigid here. It is very cold. I see Marianne is here. I see Kimberly is here. Hello. Hello, everyone. If you're out there, please say hi. Um, Please hit the share. Share this with your friends. That helps us so much. Um, my comments aren't showing up here today. Surprise, surprise. So we're going to look over here. So when I'm not looking at you all, that's what I'm doing. Um, but I hope you're all doing great out there. It has, like I said, it's been busy today, but it's mostly, I think it feels busier because everything I was doing today, I was trying to stay warm. That was the biggest part of the day. Even though I had the pellet stove kicked up very high last night, almost. Okay, so normally we set it on 1 or 2. I had it on 4. I think it only goes to 5. I've never put it at 4 before. And even though I did that, it burned through 2 bags of pellets in a day, which normally we do 1 bag a day, um, because that helps keep our costs down. And usually we don't have to go much more than that. So it burned through 2 bags in a day. It needed to be cleaned out in a day. And it kept the cottage, the room it was in, at about 51 degrees. Um, the other rooms were colder than that. The studio room and the room it was in, it kind of fills those 2 rooms, and those 2 rooms have the most immediate access to the hot air coming from the split system. So if the split system can make hot air, it can't when it gets too cold. But if it can, it was keeping those rooms around 51 degrees. As soon as I shut it off to clean it, it dropped to about 48 degrees in there, um, which is pretty cold. Whoops. And so I was working there while it was shutting down, and I cleaned it out, and while it was restarting. I stayed there for a few hours in about 50-degree weather. It was pretty cold. I was bundled up quite a bit, but I got a few orders done and a few other orders started and sorted out, which is really good. And so I was very thankful to my mom and dad who came and plowed us out. I didn't realize how much they plowed. They plowed like the whole driveway, which is really the front yard. Our driveway to Star Cottage is pretty much the front yard, and they plowed most of that. So there was a lot of room for me to pull in, turn around, move things around, which really made things a lot easier. So I'm very thankful to them. Um, and I'm glad that it made it so much easier to drop off pellets today because I needed to do that, obviously. So that is that. Um, Vicky's here. Hello, Vicky. Norma's here. Hello, Norma. Thank you all for being here. Um, I went to the grocery store after I dropped things off at the post office. And I I picked up stuff to make. What did I pick? Picked up stuff to make soft tacos tonight. I've been kind of hungry for those, but I told Andrew if he wants to start dinner before, he's welcome to do that. If he doesn't want to make tacos, he can make something else too. But I don't know if he'll do that. But I also have my hey Susie, thanks for joining us. I just saw your comment pop up. I had to refresh the page. Um, I brought a heater in here with me. So I'm trying to figure out my under desk situation here. I have the heater and I brought it in from the bedroom. So I got to make sure it goes back over there so the bedroom is warm for tonight. It's just so cold. It was so cold today. So the pellet stove, normally what it does is, it when you turn it on, it starts a startup process, and that startup process has um, it drops pellets faster, and it has an igniter, and it's an electric igniter that glows red hot, and it keeps glowing until those pellets catch on fire, and then the temperature sensors sense that there's fire, and after a bit of time the igniter turns off, and the igniter will turn off, and if it doesn't sense that it's hot enough, it will start shutting down the stove. So that happens a lot. I have to catch it and hit the power button again, and then the second time it usually always works. Today, I don't know if it was the cold or what, but the first time I tried to start it up, it filled up with pellets, but never caught fire. So I don't know if it was just so cold that the igniter was having a hard time keeping things warm enough. Um, I can't think of any other explanation for it than that. Um, so I had to take those pellets out because there were way too many of them. It was just going to clog everything up. So to take those out, restart it again, and with some of those pellets, because they were warm, so I threw some of them back in, and it finally ignited. So it was a little bit different today. It didn't want to start, and I think it's because it was so cold, or colder than it's used to get up and running. Um, May is here. Hello, May. Thanks for joining us. Um, let's see. Kimberly's frying bacon for potato soup. Potato soup. That sounds good too. We have potatoes. So I picked up refried beans, fake meat crumbles, and mushrooms, and that's usually what I saute up all together. Um, well, I do everything in a different order, but put those together to make the soft taco filling, along with spices and onions and a few other things. And um, then I remembered that we have potatoes too. So I was thinking that they might be good to make potatoes and maybe cut those up. We have the little, um, they're the little potatoes, but they're all different colors, a little medley. And so I was thinking about frying those up in the air fryer, cutting them up, frying them up, and using some of that in the filling too. So we'll see. But I don't know how much, it depends how long the live goes and how much energy I have. I'm really low energy today. I did not sleep well. I slept very well we didn't get to bed until I think it was like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock last night. Um, we were working on things, but also partially we started watching a show. What did we start watching? Um, Overcompensating, I think the show is called. Um, it's a really cute show. But it's also one of those shows they have um, it's like a 32-year-old playing an 18-year-old. Like, obviously not the age that they're supposed to be, but it's still a cute show. Um, and about coming out and all this stuff. And we started watching that and kind of got into watching a lot of those while we were also working, and having that on in the background. So that kept us up very late. I think I got to bed about 4. And I think it was around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I think, that I let Gertie in the bedroom last night. Gertie, Gilbert, and Barnaby were in the bedroom, and we were all sleeping. But I think it was around 6:30, so like 3 hours of sleep. And Gertie started her morning thing. She comes up and usually steps on my head, and then she kisses my nose, um, and she does her little checking on me. And it's kind of really cute because Babette used to do the same thing. Babette would come up to my head in the morning and start kissing on my nose, to kind of wake me up. I think it also is to tell me that they're hungry and it's time to feed them, but it's not time to feed them at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 in the morning. That is not the time. So I tried to go back to sleep, and she was a little wild child after that. Like she could not sleep anymore. She didn't want to lay down anymore. So I let her out. And I think someone else came in. It's all a blur. I think someone else came in and they didn't want to lay down. And so then they went out. And then I think Gilbert went out. I think I had everybody in at one point except Gilbert and Gertie. And then they just started getting wild, the babies, except Barnaby. He sleeps with me. He just hangs out. He knows he sleeps with me until I get up. He doesn't try to wake me up. If he sees me kind of rustling, sometimes I get up to go to the bathroom. Sometimes he'll sit up and wait to see if I'm going to leave the bedroom or if I'm coming back or what's going on, and then he lays back down. Good boy. The rest of them, a little bit wild. So I did get up at one point and fed them a little earlier, and then I was going to go back to sleep. I think I tried. I did. Today I did. I went back to sleep for like a good hour or two. Fell asleep really hard, and it was one of those sleeps that it feels like it was nothing. Ever sleep so hard it felt like it was like 2 minutes, and it's not satisfying at all. That was me. So I'm a little exhausted today. I'm probably rambling more than normal because of that. Maybe not. Hopefully it doesn't sound too different, or maybe it is different. Maybe that's good. But yeah, that was my morning. So I'm really tired. Um, and I didn't have to do any shoveling today, which was very nice. But I did lug pellets around, and I saw multiple neighbors today. Our one neighbor was outside clearing her car. She already had someone helping her, so that was nice. Someone younger was helping, so that was that was nice. Um, and because otherwise I would have stepped in, but she had help. And then I saw one our other neighbors at the supermarket today and talked with them a little bit. It was just kind of one of those days, seeing people and doing our thing. So I wish it was more exciting, more things to tell you, but that's what I did today. And then I got ready for the live. There were some things I had to identify for the live tonight, so I identified some things. We sometimes we do buyouts. When we get things from certain vendors, it's of course we know exactly what they are, but sometimes we do buyouts of things. Sometimes we do vintage lots, things like that. We have a lot of vintage things that we've had even before we started the store, um, and so there's a lot of stuff that sometimes we've got to identify. So I spent a good probably hour or so before this live preparing for it, um, and yeah, that's my life. That's my life. May says potato soup sounds good. It really does. It really does. Kimberly says, speaking of shows, I watched a new show called The Beauty, Instant Regret. It's disgusting and very sci-fi-ish. Huh. Sci-fi-ish is okay for me. I don't know what disgusting, what kind of like, like blood and guts and gore? I don't think we've watched that. I don't remember seeing that, The Beauty. Yeah, we watched, I think it's Overcompensating. Um, and it's about someone going to college, and um they're gay, but they don't want to talk about it. They're in the closet a little bit. And it's just the things it a lot of it kind of reminded me of my experience going to college, which is I think why I enjoyed it. But it was pretty funny too at places, and it's an easy watch, which is I think why we started kind of binging it in the background of stuff, because it's just kind of an easy watch, and it's one of those that you can pay attention, but you can miss things, and that's okay too. Um, so recommend it if you want to see it. I think I can't remember what it's on. I never remember what channel we're watching anything on. I'm glad Andrew remembers, because I never do. Um, but we've got like a number of things going at the same time. We're doing Queer Eye. We're doing Overcompensating. We're doing the new Game of Thrones one. We're doing Star Trek. And it's like we all rotate. We pick one or two a night and watch them as we're doing things, or as we're eating. A lot of times it's as we're eating is how it all starts. Um, and sometimes when we're completely done with work, then we just like take a little bit of time and enjoy a show or two. Um, and then go to bed. But yeah, we're watching all these different shows all at the same time. Um, thank goodness for recaps. That's all I can say because I'm usually exhausted by that point in time. And yeah, I don't get a lot of thought going in any of these to remember any of them. So that's a thing. Kimberly said yes, lots of gore. Okay, lots of gore. That's gore can be useful in a show, but a lot of times it's just there for extra. Um, and when it's like that, it's when it's not necessary. Like I don't know that gore is ever necessary, but sometimes it plays into the plot line a little bit more. Um, so I like Ashton Kutcher, and he's in it. That's why I watched. Okay, is it? It's a show, not a movie. Um, yeah, or is it a movie? Like you said show, so I'm guessing a series. Um, yeah, that was my day. Sorry, everybody. It's not that exciting. I did spend some time today. I told you all yesterday that I wrote a post on Facebook. I did mark it. I sectioned that post off for friends only, um, just because. Just because. Usually I post everything publicly, but and a number of people wrote back to me and wrote really nice replies, very thoughtful, very some of them nice long replies that they took a lot of time to think about and write. And so I spent some time this afternoon also writing back to everybody. I tried to reach out to everybody that wrote to me and kind of thank them and talk about some of our shared struggles and things that we're feeling. And I will say it has helped my mindset a good bit. Um, and I mentioned in some of the replies that I think I'm going to, I don't talk about too many personal things on Facebook. Like every once in a while I'll get into it, but I think I'm going to be writing a little bit more often. And it's just because I realized how much it helps and how much it brings people together. And I would encourage you in whatever way that you can, if you feel you need to reach out. um, we have a lot of people in our community, and I we have some friends here who are local, but we don't get a chance to really hang out with people. Like we don't go out Friday nights with our friends and or have game nights, and that would be nice sometimes, I think. But our life is pretty busy, and it's hard for us to do that. And so um, we don't have sometimes that same one-on-one time with people as even as I used to. When we were in high school, college, even in New York, uh, it- I had more people that I hung out with more often. And so for me, it has worked really well to reach out, even on social media, even though social media is a mess oftentimes. Um, it did help. And so I would say to others that if you are feeling something, do try to reach out to people. Do open up to the community that you are a part of. I mean, you're a part of our community. You can always reach out to us. Um, but it's I think it's important right now that we don't hold everything in. I know Andrew's been sharing a good bit too. I think it's really important that we don't hold everything in. And I'm known for that a little bit. I grew up and kind of turned myself into kind of this a peacekeeper, trying to find good things, bring people together, find things on each side of the aisle. I'm that kind of person, and it's exhausting. And when things are sometimes so out of control, you can't do that. You can't peacekeep, and sometimes that's hard for me and I don't know what to do. And so, if you find yourself in that same situation or, in a different one, but still feel yourself in need of talking, I encourage you, please do reach out to people. Um, we're sometimes I don't want to burden people with the things I'm thinking. And I've realized that um, more often than not, it has helped both me and the other people who are receiving what I'm saying more than it has felt like harm. So just wanted to say that because I had a good experience with it, and I hope that you can too. Um, Kimberly says it's a series on FX. Okay. Marianne says FX does seem to have difficult to watch shows. I don't know much about. I don't know much about FX. I know we used to watch things on FX. I don't know what we would have watched recently. I don't think we have FX. Is that a separate channel, or is it owned by somebody else? Everything is getting bought up so often anymore. I have no idea what is what is independently owned or what is not. Most things are not, but what has an independent channel, what doesn't? Um, like there's AMC, I think, and AMC you can have an independent, but you can also get it through Prime, I think, and you can play it through the Prime channel. So it's all a little convoluted sometimes, I think. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if FX is still its own thing anymore. I guess it is. Um, Kimberly says it was in Disney Plus. Okay, so FX probably got gobbled up by that. Um, so weird. So hard to know anyway. Everything goes back to like three corporations anyway, right? It's ridiculous. Um, so well, I'll have to look at it because the gore stuff does not bother me so much. Sometimes it bothers Andrew. I forget what we were watching. Um, that we started watching, I think, season 2 of it, and or the next season of it, whatever it was, and we forgot that there was so much gore, and he actually turned it off. Um, sometimes it does nothing for the plot. There's no reason for it, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I guess I'm desensitized now. I don't know, but yeah, from watching so many shows like that as a kid, I don't know. Um, I think a lot of that started when I was a kid. That kind of stuff, teenage years, things got gorier and gorier on TV. But some of it's really bad. Anyway, anyway, what are y'all doing? What are y'all eating today? I can't wait to eat. I'm actually really hungry. I did not eat anything else today. Usually I have at least a banana or an apple or sometimes oatmeal, things like that. And I had nothing else to eat today. I've had nothing to eat. I barely drank anything today. I'm doing like this was only like this full this morning. I'm doing really poorly with all that today. But I've just been busy. I feel like from the moment I got up and started moving around, I was busy today. I don't think I even did the Beat in the New Year banner. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was supposed to do that when I got to the cottage today, and I started working on orders and didn't do that. So I didn't do the Beat in the New Year thing. I'll have to do that tonight. So at least I get it up. I've done one every day. I've done a banner and the new banner, and I've done a reel every day. And it's helping me keep my Facebook business stuff that they count every month, every week. It's helps me keep that up, but I didn't do it today because I have to create it, and I didn't create it today. I used to, so I didn't go to the store this weekend because of the weather. And usually at the store on Sunday, I make the next 7 banners. I make a banner size image, I make a post size image, and I make a reel sized image. And I make 7 of those, one for each day coming up. And because I didn't go to the store this weekend and I did other things, I didn't make them all for this week. So I'm making them day by day, which is why today didn't get done because I got up and instead of, usually the first thing I do, um, not the first thing, but one of the first things I do when I'm moving around and actually get into work mode is put that banner or that reel up. And I haven't been doing it. I didn't do it today. Um, Let's see. Marion says, I just finished my apple that I intended to eat at lunch. Yeah, sometimes that happens to me. That definitely happens to me. Norma had a mushroom burger patty melt and Kraft mac and cheese cup. I feel like I need something else, maybe chocolate. Ooh. I did not get any desserts today. I was going to get desserts. We've been eating cookies. We had Oreos the one night and we had Chips Ahoy last night. And then Andrew started saying that he was starting to break out from the consumption of too much processed foods and sugar, because he is susceptible to that a lot more than me, even though I do start sometimes to do that. But so I didn't get any snacky snacks. I was going to get more Oreos because he had asked for Oreos, but then I remembered that he was breaking out. So didn't do that. Hey, Anne, thanks for joining us. Um, I don't think I got any snack foods. I just got food. And when I make the tacos tonight, there should be enough to like really fill us up, I hope. Um, so last time I made it, it lasted like 2 days worth of tacos, I think, and then some. And I think we turned the rest of the leftovers into something else. I forget what Andrew used them and combined them into something else. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of food, I think, tonight, which will be good because I'm really hungry. I'm probably gonna overeat, but that's okay. That's all right. Um, Marianne says, I will have a few almonds now. That sounds good too. That sounds pretty good. But yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day. Have y'all did anything? Have y'all done anything today? Did you go out? Because some people are not going out, and that's smart. I will tell you, if you don't have to go out, don't. It is very cold. I was driving around here in Ligonier. The main road through Ligonier, 7-Eleven, is fine. It's pretty good. It's clear. It's pretty good. I will say that I believe if I had the van and did not have our all-wheel drive car, I don't know that even some of our side roads here today, I would have been able to navigate very well. Um, some of the roads coming back from the grocery store, I usually take a side road coming back, and um, there was a lot of slushy snow that I was, even in our all-wheel drive car with brand new tires, winter tires, um, and like everything, I was still slipping and sliding, and I still got the little wavy image coming up on the dashboard telling me my tires are slipping. And so, and stopping was not happening exactly when I had planned it to sometimes. Thankfully, I was the only one out. Um, so yeah, I don't know about your area, but here I would say if you do not have to go out, don't. If you have to go out, use the main roads if at all possible, because it is getting cold. Our house, we set our house to 68. Our house has not gone above 66 all day. Um, it was at 65 for most of the day. It could not physically get up to 68 today. Um, it just wasn't able to do it. So that also means that our furnace has been running all day, which is scaring me for the furnace bill. But we'll figure that out, I guess. Um, but yeah, it has been a very cold day. And like I said, even our pellet stove at the cottage could not get it above 51. And so I turned it down because um, I realized that turning it up higher wasn't making it much warmer in the area. So I did turn it down to 3 instead of 4. So hopefully I'll have a little extra time tomorrow before I have to run up there and um, shut it down and clean it out again. Let's see here. May had ravioli with tomato sauce. That sounds good. I love raviolis. Kind of want ice cream, but it's so cold, says Norma. I like ice cream. Andrew and I talked about getting ice cream the other day, even though it was cold. It's weird, right? Craving that stuff when it's so cold. I can't even stand to drink my juice, and I'm craving ice cream. Um, let's see here. Norma says, I got my tires chipped out of the ice today and got out for a few supplies. The plow on the main road threw all the snow across the street connecting to it, and it's a steep hill to get out. Um, and a sharp right. It took 5 tries to get out of my street. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah, it's really they throw that snow around and they have to. Like I'm not angry ever that they push the snow into the driveway, right? It is a thing though that it's another thing you have to do, clean the snow out of the driveway or out of the road because they're pushing main road snow into smaller roads, right? Um, blocking up driveways, but they have to do it, and but it doesn't make it easier. That's for sure. May says, "Yeah, our heating bill is high, and I'm in Cali." Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the heating bill. The gas bill is going to be a little outrageous because it's already gone up. Like the utility bills are just doubling um, without using anything more. Charges to the what do they call it? The transportation fee or the fee to like get it to you is like half as much as the bill itself, which it never used to be that. In some cases, it's almost as much as the bill itself for the actual gas. Um, so it's a little bit wild, a little wild. I'm not looking forward to this winter's bills. Never am. But that's the cost of having a house, right? And having a store and having a studio. Um, but yeah, it has been so cold. The house cannot physically get warm enough. It's not been able to keep up. Um, so price should just set it down at 65 and let it be at 65 because it's not getting anywhere else. At least it would pause and stop for a little while, maybe. Amanda's here. Is that right? Did I miss Amanda coming in? Oh, yes, I did. There you are, Amanda. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Um, so yeah, that's my day. I'm 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 a little tired, not afraid to say, and I don't have the energy I had yesterday. I had good energy yesterday. I still have good energy today. I'm not saying I don't think my energy is bad. It's just low. My energy reserves are low. And I have to make dinner after this, unless Andrew's making dinner now. He's not in the comments, unless he is. Let me refresh, because I just realized I haven't refreshed Facebook in a while. Nope, he's not in the comments. So he may be creating. I know he's working on. Um, he has a. Um, I can't think of the word. My words failing. Um, he's making an art piece for somebody, and he's been working on that, so he might be doing that now. Um, sorry, my eyes are dry right now from all this cold air and heat. Um, I parked the car up at the cottage and I thought it was snowing. The car ended up before I left, it was covered in snow, but it didn't snow. So I realized it was all just from it blowing around. It was blowing so much up there, the car became covered in snow again. It's wild. Um, so yeah, anyway, my eyes are dry and I'm like trying to squint to see comments. What a day. Um, so I have some lots for you tonight. I pulled a bag full of stuff. This is very random, y'all. Um, it's exceptionally random, and I hope some people are going to like some stuff that we're showing. Um, oh, I haven't heard from Diane. Some people were asking. I have not heard from Diane about her hip surgery, but she was liking some of my posts. So she was around enough, I believe, to like some of the posts. I don't know if she's out there watching today or not, but we're thinking about you. Um, and hope all is going well. So I'm hoping that the liking of the post is at least saying that you're doing okay. So um, yeah, that's it. Let's get this show started because I'm sleepy and we're going to be cooking some stuff. So let me flip this camera around and we'll show you some lots today. If you have anything to talk about that you've been doing, I'd love to hear it. Y'all seem a little low key today too, I must say. We were pretty talkative yesterday. And that was fun because it makes the time go by really quick. Um, not that I want the time to go by quick, but it keeps me going a little more than if I'm just the only one talking. Um, and I have something to bounce things off of people. So it's nice that way. But so let me know. Let me know if you've got anything that you've been doing. You had any fun today? Do anything fun at work? Read any good books? Read any good magazines? Any articles? Listen to any good music? Anything at all? Let me know in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is STF. That's our lot numbers for tonight, STF lots. And here, let me put up the banner. You know how to do this to purchase from this video. Take down the lot number, send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. Just throw it in that subject line and let it go. First come, first serve. These, I do have multiples available. So these are going to be $6 for 10 pieces. This is vintage, really nice turquoise heishis of all different sizes. So you're going to get a mix match of sizes. And these are really high quality turquoise. It's from a vintage strand that we took apart that was graduated. And this is a sample of what you may get. But you'll get 10 pieces and it's $6 for the 10 pieces. Beautiful turquoise. These are great to make little earrings out of or just to throw in here and there. They are nice little heishi beads. So whether you're looking at them from the side or whether you hang them like this for earrings, do some wire wrapping, wire work on that. They're really pretty beads. And so STF1, $6 per 10 pieces. And I do have multiple lots of those. Not a ton. I might have like 3 or 4 lots, but I do have multiples. I didn't count them all out though. All right, what do I got next? Oh, is Susan here? Susan's here. Hello, Susan. Amanda says, I'm reading an article about the oldest rock painting found in Indonesia. That's cool. What are they saying about it? There are 5 of these. And we had 10 on these. I'll do them for 6 today. STF2 are these vintage glass clear drops. Really pretty. I love these kind of magnification drops. Super cool. Where's my, there it is. And these are approximately 12.5 by 8. 12.5 by 8 millimeters. $6 a strand, 5 strands available. Let's see here. May says, loved everything in my order. That owl from Italy is so cute. Oh, that little stone, the stone, you got one of the stone owls, right? Aren't they adorable? Oh, I don't think I kept any for myself, and I kind of wish I did because they are super dang cute. Marion says, I sorted a few beads and remembered to take a photo of the earrings I made during the creative make-along. That's nice. That's awesome. I I still haven't put a clasp on mine from the Creative Make Along. I think it's at the length I want at least, but I have not taken. Um, I took one picture of it. The picture's not great. They didn't take it in good light, and so um, I have to put a clasp on it and take a real picture of it. Let's see here. Marianne says, I heard about it, Amanda. It's a handprint, isn't it? Says yes. Oh, and then May says yes, the stone owl. They are so cool, the stone owls. Okay, this is STF3. These were $12. I have two of them left. They are luxury bead blends by Andrew. And they're this really nice springy mix. And there's purples and greens and pinks, and you've got some of these vintage the vintage acrylic leaves and of differing sizes and shapes. You've got some dagger beads in there, you've got some rose quartz in there, you've got some crystal in there, you've got some seed beads, lots of good seed beads in there. Got some looks like amethyst in there, some purples, um, some fiber optic even, it looks like, in there. So lots of good things. 2 bags of that luxury bead blend available. STF3 was $12, now 10. Amanda says the painting is approximately 67,800 years old. It says it's a claw-like hand stencil, but it looks like a bird to me. Isn't that wild? Like, it's so wild. Like, we think of time, I think most of the time, like our lives are so long sometimes, or short maybe, I don't know. I feel like, we think about, like, if somebody lives 90, 100 years, it's such a long time. And when you think about it, like 67,800 years, people longer than that, but have been around. Like, it's so, like, it blows my mind. Like I can't even compute that in my brain. That civilizations, or, well, people, maybe not civilizations, societies, but people have been around for that long and doing artwork, apparently, right? Like, it's wild to me. It's 100% wild. And I think about that every time I um, read things like that. Hey, Suzanne's here. Sorry, I had to refresh Facebook. Suzanne's here, says, getting my battery checked tomorrow. How exciting. You got to do that in this cold weather, right? Susie says, I went out and started my car, drove it around the diamond, and came home. Woohoo. Yeah, sometimes just starting up the car and moving it just to make sure, like, the battery doesn't go dead. Um, yeah. So that's a thing. That's why I'm glad, in a way, that I go up to the cottage every day, because it does keep our car warmed up and moving and all that good stuff. Although I do worry myself every day when I go out. I'm like, is it going to start? Because I've heard some people, their cars are not starting. So far, Appa has always been a good car, 100% good car, always. But um, yeah, today, during this cold, I'm especially thankful for our good vehicles. Let's see, we had 12 on these. I'll do 8. I've got 3 of them available. These are African glass, recycled African glass beads. You get a strand of them. They are $8 a strand. There are 3 strands available. They are all this color. It's kind of light blue-green, kind of aqua color. 16 millimeter beads. 3 strands available. STF4. Amanda says the article is in Popular Science. I used to read Popular Science quite a bit. My favorite magazines used to be Popular Science, Scientific American, I still get Scientific America. Scientific American or America? Scientific American, I think. Science magazine. I still actually get the physical magazine. Um, I can't figure out how to stop it. I guess I could call them, but I don't like have an account anymore. Like I don't have a sign in. I've been getting this magazine for many years and I've lost the sign in. I don't even know if I had one. I think I at one point filled out one of those cards and sent it in, and they keep finding like any new address I have. Um, when I do a change of mail, but I don't actually know how to shut it off. So I just keep getting it and I pay for it every year. Um, Even though I can read it on the iPad included with so many of my things now. But I do like the physical magazine, but I don't sit down and read it like I should. I think that would be a good thing for me if I actually did that and made time to do that because I really like that magazine and I think it would give me a pause in my day to like sit down and read something physical. Um, and so anyway, yeah, but that was Popular Science was another one I used to get in the magazine form, but I don't get that physical magazine anymore. Um, Marion says I'll have to see if I can find the article. Yeah, I'll have to look because I know Popular Science comes with, I think, my Apple News Plus. I think I get Popular Science with Apple News Plus. Um, so that's a thing. If you get Apple News Plus, I think you get it. Hey, Leslie. Good evening. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing well. I want all of our AG Bead fam to have no problems. I know that's not the way of things right now, but I want you all to be doing as well as possible. Here's another luxury bead blend. We've got only two remaining of STF5. STF5 are these, and these have a lot of those little fiber optic kind of beads in them, or at least chatoyant beads. I'm not sure if they're truly fiber optic or just chatoyant, but they're really cool. There's crystal in there. There's check glass. Lots of check glass. There are some stones. So I love this mix. It's kind of this bluey green and red. There's only two of these left, and STF5. They are available for you at the low price of $10 only instead of $12. We normally charge $12 for the new luxury bead blends. And let's see, we had 12 on these. I'll do them for 10. STF6. This is a set, I believe these are vintage resin. They look like horn, but they are vintage resin beads, and they're already wire. They're done with the eye pins on both sides, and but look how beautiful they are. So you get two. Well, you get three. I think these are are these the same size? Yeah, three of this size and one of a smaller size. And these are really nice. The smaller size is, I'm going to do just the bead portion in case you take them off of these eye pins. The bead is 19.5 by, approximately 25. And then I feel like these are, they're about the same. This is about 24.5 by 30.5. Yeah, 24.5 by 30.5. $10 for the lot of four of those. They're little gold plated caps. Pretty nice. I like these a lot. And that's for the lot of 4 of them for $10. As this says, I'm good. One of the mental health care accounts I follow says reading just 15 minutes a day, no multitasking. Read quietly, reduces your stress level. Paper is preferred over an electronic device. Yeah, I need to do that because I do feel that if I read my book at night, even if I read on a Kindle, um, it's not my iPad or my phone, like, because I get distracted. I get things pop up. Even if I usually turn all my notifications off most of the day, but I'll jump into something else or I'll think of something while I'm reading and I'll flip to research but if I just read on my Kindle or a physical book when I'm getting ready for bed, right before bed, it really helps a lot. And so I need to do that. And I get the magazines. We end up using the magazines for enameling because you use magazine paper to enamel over so that you can recollect the enamel. So the magazines are put to use whether we read them or not. But it would be nice to actually read them more often. Okay, I am going to put number 1 away. STF 1. This is this beautiful turquoise, and you get 6 or 10 pieces for $6. This is a beautiful vintage high quality turquoise. You'll get an assortment of 10 pieces. Just to show you, like, there's lots in there, right? Lots in there. Beautiful turquoise, old turquoise, vintage turquoise, stabilized, not dyed. Not dyed, but it is stabilized, which is what you want. Um, Marianne's asking, do you know which issue of the magazine, Amanda? It's not the most recent one. That one is AI and taxidermy. Oh boy. AI and taxidermy. That's an interesting combo. I'm going to put this first luxury bead blend we talked about away. This green and purples and clears. Oh, and sorry, I don't have a device to say if anybody's purchasing anything today. I forgot to bring it down or bring it up again. So we're just going to keep going with this as we do it. And if you like something, grab it. I know that's what you do anyway, right? Most of y'all aren't waiting for me to say if it's sold out or not. You just grab it if you want it. So that's what we're going to do. Keep doing it. Please help us. Got a lot of gas bills coming up. Let's see here. Anne says, one of the first pair of earrings I ever made had turquoise heishi like that. I love those. I do too, right? I love heishi beads, and those turquoise are really pretty. Thank you, Anne. Amanda says, publish date January 21st, 2026 by Laura Biasis. So that's for Mary Ann. The January article or edition, I guess. STF 7. Let's see, what did we have these at? These are so nice. I've only got 2 of them left. We had them at 16. I'm going to bring them all the way down to 12. Because we only got 2. Let's hopefully sell them. These are carnelian drops. Vintage carnelian drops. This came from a vintage buyout we did. And these are amazingly beautiful, I think, carnelian drops. They're faceted. They're so colorful. All the different colors of the carnelian, light to dark in the strand. And I'm going to show you the second strand. I have it here. So you can see they're both equally pretty. Beautiful carnelian. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. To see you here again. 13.2 by 13. So about 13 by 13 millimeters for each of those beads. Beautiful carnelian drops, only $12 a strand. That's a strand to buy right there. That is gorgeous carnelian, faceted, ready to go for you. Make beautiful earrings with it. The nice thing about these two, they are top drilled, but they're not thin. Like sometimes people don't like to use the drops because the top drilling feels too precious. These do not feel like that to me. These are nice thick drops. You can see how thick they are. They've got some substance to them. If you want to try wire wrapping them, I think you're going to have an okay time um, wire wrapping them without worrying too much about breaking them off. STF 7. What are STF 6? Asked Marianne. They are vintage resin. Vintage resin. They look like horn. And I think they're made to look like horn. They're vintage resin. Okay. I have 4 of these pendants. We've been doing our pendants for about $5 or $6. I'm gonna do these for 4. These are stone pendants, and these are a dyed sardonyx. So they're dyed blue, and they're super, super pretty. Oh, and when this is Marianne, I'm wondering how AI and taxidermy go together. Marianne says they are 2 separate articles. That makes sense, right? Isn't this pretty? It's like my sweater. And this, so if you noticed, you're probably noticing I wore this sweater yesterday. This is like my office sweater. So I'm not just wearing the same clothes all the time. I mean, technically I am wearing the same clothes, but it's not like I throw this on when I'm up here in the office. Um, so, and it's like the color of my sweater. See that? Beautiful. These are approximately 37.5 millimeters, and they are drilled through there, drilled top to bottom that way. And there are 4 of those available. STF 8. I'll show you another one of those just so you can see. There's another one. I love that they dyed it that kind of blue color. Beautiful sardonyx dyed. Slightly blue. How was your day, Jennifer? You weren't here when I asked everybody how their days were. How was your day? What'd you do today? Do anything fun? Get out of the house at all? Did you leave the house? Some people are not leaving the house. Okay. This was 32. I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to bring it down to 24. That's really better than that. It says I feel kind of brain fogged. I know that feeling. So this was 32. Bring it down to 24. This is a beautiful strand of large, chunky chalcedony. Dyed chalcedony in these big, beautiful, faceted chunks. This is a vintage strand. This is from a vintage buyout we did. And look at that chalcedony. It's so pretty. And these are these big, chunky pieces. Each one could be its own pendant. Put it on a chain. I don't know why they put green tassels on this. I think it throws things off. Like these are so pretty, but when you put them with, see that? Look how pretty they are. They're really pretty. And then when you have the green tassel, it like makes it so like, I don't know. It's not the right color to put with these. I mean, they put the tassel on it. So it's nice, right? They used to do. But look how pretty, if you take that green out of the equation, look how pretty those are. Big, chunky chalcedony. I love chalcedony. It has that, we'd always talk about that inner glow that chalcedony has. It's like glowing from the inside. And I love that you can dye it all these beautiful colors. This is a little piece of, that's not on the stone. That was a old piece of, I think, rubber band. These are vintage. They were rubber banded at one point, so the rubber band died on it. This one is 20 by 22.5 millimeters for this stone. So that's the kind of average size there, I'd say. $24, one strand only. Big chunky chalcedony like that, vintage, it's sometimes costly. So we try and bring that price down a little bit for you. And it says, doing stuff around the house and trying to get down to working. What you working on? What you working on? Doing some designing work. Let me put some of these away. Anybody making stuff? I didn't even, that was terrible because I didn't even talk about Beat in the New Year, and I forgot to put the thing up for today. So today was play with knotting or wire wrapping. Oh, that's a good one. Play with knotting or wire wrapping. Did anybody do that today? Anybody play with knotting or wire wrapping for Beat in the New Year? Somebody asked us if we were going to do, oh, it says my job, J-O-B-A-K, bead funding stream. I get that. Somebody asked us if we would do a calendar for February, and we never usually do. We only usually do January, and sometimes we do it like a midsummer calendar. And would anybody be interested if we did a calendar in February, or do you have enough prompts still from January that you don't need a calendar in February? Susan says, I've been making earrings and a bracelet from my beadboard discards. That's a good idea. Amanda says, I'm going to wire wrap a pendant if I can find my antique copper wire. Yeah, sometimes doing the wire is hard, right? Finding the wire. I have that problem a lot, especially here at the house. Marianne says, Février. Marianne has enough prompts from Janvier. All right. What about everybody else? What I suggested is if you have done all the prompts and you're looking for new things, find a new way to use those prompts that we've already given you. Create something different, combine them together, or mix and match in a different way, and do something like that. Norma says, I've been slacking on Beat in the new year. I have plenty of prompts left for February. Susan says, I think I'm good with the January prompts. All right. See, that's what I kind of had a feeling. It started off really strong in the beginning. Many people did. And it did, it slowed down here recently. There are fewer people posting about Beat in the new year, but that happens every year. And that's kind of the goal of it, is to really push people at the beginning after the holidays to kind of get a spark going. And then whether that spark stays going or not, we can only do so much. I know I had a hard time. I started off really strong too. And then, of course, I got busy. When I was at the store, it was easier to do things, but I haven't been at the store because of the weather. Let's see here. These were 26 for the strand. I'll bring it down to 22. There's only one strand of this. This is really pretty. A lot of the beads I have tonight, I'm just saying, are bigger beads. So if you like bigger beads, this might be the night for you. If you don't, I still have other things, but I am saying some of the beads, like these, I have some bigger beads tonight. We're not doing a lot of like 6 millimeter or 4 millimeter size tonight. Um, there will be a few smaller ones, but this is a beautiful strand of vintage red aventurine. Red aventurine. And it is gorgeous. I love this color. And look at the quality of the stones. Um, Leslie says, I'm barely keeping up with my designing for work. Not much time to do personal beading at the moment. I feel that. I feel that. Work has been all hands on deck right now just to try and get by. Small business life, right? And it's winter, which is always difficult, let alone this particular year. Marion says, and some can be repeated with different beads. Absolutely. Jennifer says it's like apricot, right? It is. They're so nice. It's a natural red aventurine. Stunningly beautiful, I think. I love this. These are about 12 millimeter beads, 12 to 12 and a half, depending on the bead. They're not all exactly the same. And those facets throw it off too. But that's a vintage strand, one strand available, STF 10. STF 10. Marion says, pretty aventurine. I know, right? It would go really well with that carnelian. Like, look at those together. Look at those. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Play around with those. Okay. STF 11. Told you we got big beads. I think I have 5 strands of this. And we had these. These were 28. I'm going to bring them down to 24, which is a really good deal. These are a dyed jade. And they are big and they are beautiful. And they are faceted. But this is not glass. These are stone. Let me show you a little bit. Look how pretty they are. Beautiful rounds in this bright spring green. I'm looking forward to spring. You see me pulling, like these are kind of fall colors, kind of, right? But I think they could be used in spring stuff too. This is definitely spring green. And here's my collection of beads I was working with for my my bracelet I made. Look, look, look. I'm into this. I'm into this. These are 16 millimeter beads, STF 11. STF 11. Let me see something here real quick. Okay. So today, beat in the new year, play with knotting or wire wrapping. Wordplay Wednesday for tomorrow is create a design that reflects the word messy. Messy. So you make a messy design or reflects that word. Then on Thursday, we're going to ask you to design using the largest beads you have. That's what reminded me. I was like, we haven't done that prompt, but I know I made that prompt. So using the largest beads you have on Thursday. Friday's surprise design, make a piece based on the very first bead you see today. So I'm thinking you're going to walk into your place of creation. You're going to see whatever the first bead you see that day is, and you are supposed to use that bead and design based on it. And then on Saturday, the last day of the month, we're asking you to do a random act of beady kindness. Abandon something somewhere, send a surprise gift to somebody, whatever you can think of to do. do an act of kindness, send somebody a bracelet or a pair of earrings, or leave them out for somebody to find with a little note or something like that. That's what we're asking you to do on Saturday, and that'll work. That'll finish up the month of January, a bead in the new year. Hello, Anna. Thank you for being here. Glad you are with us today. Susan says, does my work desk count as a messy design? Maybe take a picture of that and then use that picture in a mixed media piece. That'd be kind of cool, right? Do something like that. Make a drawing based on the messy of your desk and use that in a piece. There's so much we could do, right? Let's see. What do I have next? I pulled some shell for today. And like mother of pearl things and shell. And these are, I have two of them. Let's see, these are mother of pearl. We had these at 12. I'll bring them down to $8 a strand. These are, I believe, 4 millimeter. Yes, 4 millimeter mother of pearl rounds. And so if you are doing cloud dancer stuff, these are beautiful. Let me get the light on here because they're hard to see. These are beautiful mother of pearl. Look at those rounds. And they're about 4.3 millimeters or so. And so they were $12 for the strand. This is a vintage strand again. We're doing it at $8 today for you. For the live only here. And anybody who is watching a replay in the next 24 hours or so, we give those prices. When I say today only, it's usually for literally tonight and usually about 24 hours. We'll extend that price for anybody watching the replays. So if you're watching those replays, you can take advantage of these good prices. So those are mother of pearl, beautiful little beads, nice rounds, 4.1, so 4 millimeter rounds. Yeah, 4.1, 4.2, mother of pearl. 2 strands available only, vintage strands. Once those are gone, they're gone. Opalescent, says Jennifer. They are a little bit, right? They've got that little flash to them. Got a little bit of flash. Anna says, haha, Susan, my studio is a mess in progress. That's a good way to put it, right? A mess in progress. It's my whole life. Every workspace right now. I'm going to put these away. These are the carnelian drops, faceted, STF7, $12 each only. STF8s. These are the dyed sardonyx, the dyed blue sardonyx. They look black like onyx until light hits them, and then they show you that blue, which is really pretty. And they're only $4 for a pendant, and there are 4 of them available. Marianne says, I keep thinking I need a third workspace, but yeah, you make a third, it's just going to be as messy as the first 2, right? Vicky says, I'm still working on day 2, the bracelet, LOL. I can only bead for less than 30 minutes a day. Yeah, that's hard. I know. But we're glad you're working on it. Keep working. Keep working as much as you can. I'm going to put these Chalcedony away. STF 9, $24 only for that nice, beautiful vintage strand of dyed Chalcedony. I'm going to move the red aventurine over. It's pretty, as Jennifer said, apricot color. It's a really nice, that's a really good color descriptor for that. And the dyed jade and the mother of pearl. These are really pretty, this whole thing. Like, I would love to see these all mix and matched. So this with these as spacers. I think that would be beautiful. Oh, these are nice. Let's see here. Would be a good price on these. These were 18, which is already low. This is peridot. This is really pretty little peridot. I don't know, rondelles, saucers, and had 18. I'll drop it down to 14 today. There's only one strand of this available. It is a vintage strand. Careful, I think oh no, it's knotted at the end. So I think the knot came undone. And these are approximately about 4 millimeters. So 4 millimeter peridot. Look at these two. That would be really pretty too. I'm into the citrus vibe, this multicolor vibe, multi citrusy, orangey, lemon, lime. That would be really pretty as spacers between those red aventurine. They're about the right size, I think, for that to make that look really good. Anyway, one strand, peridot. It's a nice strand. Very clear. I don't know if you saw. Very clear, beautiful stones. There's a better view, right? Nice. One strand. STF 13. Let's see here. We had 16 on this. I will drop this down to 12. This is a lot of vintage plastic. And it's actually a lot of it. For $12, I should just string this up and sell it by the strand, because we sell strands about this big for $4. And there are many more strands than 3 of them here. But these are all different sizes. And by that, I mean they are 10 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and 20.5 millimeter. I think there's 3 sizes there. Well, there's actually a smaller one, 7.5. Yeah, 14. So you get this whole bunch of vintage plastic in black. And for $12. That's a really good deal. And if nobody buys it, I'm probably going to string them up and just sell them as the strands. Maybe make strands out of them. Marianne says maybe the peridot is a lentil shape. I think I'd call it that. Leslie says, I love peridot. Yes. Marianne wants yellow spacers. Yellow instead of the white. The yellow spacers, that'd be nice. Some gold, or some gold in there. Those gold spacers. That'd be really nice, right? That's what I used in my bracelet. Yeah. Susan says, my space was halfway decent, but then I started working again. That's just the way it is, right? It's true. Marianne says, my first space is starting to get better. 2 is a disaster. Yeah, I feel that pain. Okay, I'm putting this red aventurine. I don't know if anybody got it, but if nobody got it, I'll be a little bit sad because it is so pretty in person. It is so pretty. It deserves to have a home. Sometimes I feel like the beads, they just deserve to have a home, This is also, I love this color, but there are 5 of these. So I highly doubt I've sold 5 of these tonight, but I hope I sold one. Hope somebody's taking one of those home, because, sometimes you see a strand of big beads like that and it's a little overwhelming. But if you think about it as just using a bead here or there, it's not bad. It's like that strand will last you a while and you can use them here and there. You don't have to use all the big beads all together, right? In fact, it would probably, I mean, I guess you could. If you like big beads and you can't lie, I would say it's okay to use them all together, but I would use them sporadically. Let's see. STF 15. Told you it's a big bead night. And I know these nights, big beads don't always sell well, but I hope people are watching it like big beads tonight. Jennifer says, William, it might find a home on your pile. I'm trying, I cannot use all the inventory, y'all. It's like, it doesn't work if I use all the inventory. I'm supposed to sell the inventory. That's what's supposed to happen. All right, these are mother of pearl, big beads. These were 32. I'm gonna bring them down to, I'll bring them down to 22. I've only got this one strand of these left. Probably I could sell these for like $4 a piece and really make a lot more money. But these are beautiful mother of pearl shell beads. And each one, these would make beautiful pendants. They are stunningly beautiful. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. I'd say they're worth at least $4 to $6 a piece. So at this point, even if you were reselling them, getting them from us and reselling them, you could make a nice little profit. These are 35.5 by about 43 millimeters. They're all a little different, of course. There they are, one strand available, STF 15. Marianne says no, actual yellow, not gold, actual yellow. I don't have any actual yellow tonight. I have some in here. My yellow glass, that's what I used in mine. My yellow furnace glass, STF. I used that furnace glass because nobody bought it. So I do use it sometimes. Sometimes I do. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 of these. These are little cowrie beads. They're $1.50 each. I'm showing you 2 of them. Let me show you. There's these cowrie beads. Here's another one. And these are really pretty. They are 22.5 by 32 millimeters approximately. And I've got 9 of those available. And they're $1.50 each. Marion says, I believe I have some yellow beads. See, now you just need the other 2. Now you just need the other 2. STF 17. Now here's some smaller, a little bit smaller. Let me see how many strands I have of these. This is Amazonite. These are really funky shaped Amazonite. These were 22. I'm gonna bring them down to 16. I have 3 of them available for you. STF 17. Really fun kind of simple cut, faceted Amazonite. And these are vintage. Let me get the lights up here on it for you a little better. There it is. Amazonite. Mostly the blue portion, right? Not too much of the brown. You see sometimes in the Amazonite, like the flower Amazonite. Some of these strands, pretty much like there's one on each strand usually that I was looking at. They kind of look like even aquamarine, like they go really, really glowy. But these beads are approximately about 8 by 10 or 11 millimeter. Simple cut. Marianne says, I also have orange and green in those shades. We'll get to making, Marianne. Get to making. What are you doing? Instead of telling us you got it, show us. Show us. I'm going to put the mother of pearl 4 millimeters away. I'm going to put the peridot little beads away. And I'm going to also, because this is just so messy, I'm going to put all of these vintage plastic beads away. These are really fun. Sometimes you just need a black bead, right? And a light one at that. These are very light. Sorry. STF 15, STF 16, STF 17. Let's see here. Oops, where's my mouse? Lost my mouse. Isn't that weird? There it is. Speaking of black beads, I'm going to show you a few of these. I've got 12 of these available. These are onyx, faceted onyx. Let's see, we got 12, 10, 11, 12. And they were $4 each. I'm going to bring them down to $2.50 each. Not quite doing half price on them, but $2.50 each. There are 3 of them here shown. Let me switch my color. I'm going to switch the color on my screen back. These are nice, faceted, large onyx beads. And these are approximately 20 millimeter beads. You can buy them by the each, $2.50 only. I tried to put in some deals like that tonight where you can just buy individual beads. I know some people like to do that. So I did grab some of those tonight to show y'all. These are really, really nice. These are also cowrie shell. But these are little coin beads done up with them. I have 2 strands of these. I had them at 26. I'm going to bring them down to 24. I've seen people selling these. These are vintage, but I have seen people selling ones like this, but they sell like 5 at a time. For like, I think the last one I saw was 5 of them for $8. And there's 8, 16, 24, 32. So about $32 $8 worth, 8, 16, 24, 32, $32 worth there. We're doing it for 24. These are really beautiful cowrie shell coin beads. I've got 2 strands. They are gorgeous. I believe they resin them together is how they do that and create a coin bead out of them. And they are approximately 20 and a half, we'll say 20 millimeters, 20 millimeters, 20 millimeter coins. Beautiful cowrie shell, super duper light, and beautifully patterned. Just so you can see the other strand. This is the other strand, equally beautiful. Pretty unique. I think they're really pretty. Let's see here. STF20. I'm going to go ahead and put away the large mother of pearl strand. And I'm going to go ahead and put away these little cowrie ovals. I think they resin these too. I think they do them in quarters. This is how they get that bead together. Really cool. Different way, different take on the cowrie shell. I think they're tiger cowrie, they're called. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, next up is one of my favorite stones. One of my faves. I also this is one of my favorites of the night, actually, right here. I forgot we had these. I found them in a drawer today. And I didn't realize we even had 2 of them. I forgot we had them at all. And I was kind of overjoyed when I found them because I thought it was something very interesting to offer to y'all. This is Petersite. It's vintage Petersite. It was 18. I'm going to bring it down to $16. Andrew says, lovely patterns on those. There's Andrew. Says, lovely patterns. I know, right? They're super nice. Marion says, that's good for African grasslands inspiration, giraffes, right? Andrew says, did you find the shell bead drawer? I did. Can you tell? Can you tell I found it today? Because we've got a lot of shell and things like that today. Mother of pearl, shell, cowrie. Yeah, I found it. Hopefully you weren't trying to save any of it, Andrew. Petersite. Look at how pretty, how colorful. I love the clear grays, like the opalescent kind of grays in some Petersite when you see that. But look at the colors in these beads. Look at the almost like tiger eye flash that you get from Petersite too. But look at those. Look, look, look. That is a beautiful strand. Look at that blue coming out. Petersite. It is a stunning stone. One of my favorites because when you get oftentimes an older, like a vintage strand like this, you'll see so many of these colors. They're kind of sometimes muted in newer stones, newer strands. Look at that, even like kind of green with some gold in there. There's so much. Look at those gold reflections, flashes in there. This is a stunningly beautiful strand of, I believe, 6 millimeter rounds. Let me look. 6 to 6.5, 6.3 millimeter rounds. $16 for the strand. STF20. Marianne's heart eyeing that one. Isn't it nice? If nothing sells tonight, I hope more than nothing sells tonight. but I believe that one should sell. STF21. Andrew says it was hiding since we moved stuff around. Yeah. I have some more tiger cowrie coming up for y'all too. There are 2 of these strands available. Tiger cowrie. I'm going to do these at 18. I don't think we've ever offered these before. Found those 2, and then never had. I had to look them up, had to price them out. And it says sometimes when the beads are this size, you don't really get to see the patterns and colors, but you can see a lot. Yeah, you can see a lot in these. They're really pretty. Tiger cowrie, 4-sided bead. Stunningly beautiful. Again, resin together to create those 4-sided beads. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Looks like 11 beads on that strand. There are 2 strands available. If you like shell, tonight's a night. These are approximately 16 millimeters by 36. 16 by 36 millimeters. Again, because they're shell, they're very light. Which I hate. I hate long ends like this. They're just so not photogenic. Right? There we go. Get rid of it. All right. So there they look at all these. Look at these together. Look at that together. That's playful right there. That's something starting to happen. Okay, I'm gonna put the Amazonite away. I almost said aquamarine. The Amazonite away. Probably still some available since we had 3 of those. I'm also gonna put the onyx away. These large faceted onyx black. Again, $2.50 each only, down from $4 a piece. And this is I love a lot of shells because they remind me of my mom. She couldn't take a lot with her when she immigrated from the Philippines, but she had a few and she'd tell us stories when she'd show them to us. That's sweet. It's, it's funny, not funny, but it's interesting what reminds people of home, right? And what becomes part of their story. We were talking about that a little bit yesterday about, things that we cherish and things that mean a lot to us. And especially when people do have to move from home, like what do they bring and what do they keep that reminds them of home? This is a jasper. I don't know what kind of jasper. Maybe Kimberly knows. It might be I don't know if it's a wood grain jasper. There's a jasper called wood grain jasper. Um, I'm just going to price this at a quick sell, hopefully at $8 for the strand. And find it a good home. Let me get it's like without the lights, these are like, you can't see. But these are a beautiful jasper. Closest I could come when I looked them up was wood grain, but I don't think these are wood grain jasper. I just don't feel like they're exactly the same. So I know Kimberly knows jaspers pretty well. If you're still out there and you have any idea, let me know. But it is a jasper. It is a pretty, again, it's kind of that red adventuring color I've got going on a little bit more muted than those, but 8.5 millimeter beads, 1 strand available, $8. Let me see. This one. Is this what I think it is? Oh, it is. Oh, That is exceptionally nice. I'm gonna put a price of 16 on this. It probably should be more. It definitely should be more. This is an exceptional smoky quartz. You can't tell with the dust on it, but beautiful, deep, smoky quartz. Vintage strand. It's done up on silk, you can tell. Usually they did the vintage. They don't do that much anymore. So you also know it was a nice strand because they did do it up on silk. And look at those beads. Beautiful, deep, deep, smoky quartz. That's some powerful smoky quartz right there. And those are 7mm beads. Again, another vintage size, 7mm, right? $16 for the strand, one strand available. STF 23. Andrew says dark and lovely. That 3 doesn't look like a 3. Let me make that look like a 3 or more like a 3 instead of a 5. 23. We're not at 25 yet. It is dark and lovely. Definitely is. Okay, let me put some of these away. I'm gonna put these calorie coins. Last view on those for y'all. It's STF 19, $24. STF 20 is the Peter sites. Brought that down to $16, even though that price should be like a $24 strand. That's a really high quality, beautiful little strand. And let's move these over. They haven't been out for very long. These cowrie beads, this jasper here, and this smoky quartz. Oh, Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. Thanks for joining us. Where you been? Where you been? What you been up to, Sandra? Hope you're having a good day. All right. This was priced. This was 36. I'm going to do it at 32. I can't really go lower than 32. Because it's nice. This is green fluorite faceted drops. Green fluorite faceted drops. And again, these are the nice bigger drops, easier to wire wrap, less chance of things breaking. Sometimes when you get those little drops, you got to know what you're doing, right? These are a little bit easier. They're a little bit chunkier, give you a little bit of more breathing room when you're twisting that wire. But these are exceptional green fluorite. Really, really pretty. And that feels like a big strand. These drops are about 12. Usually they're like 12 by 12. Yep, 12 by 12. Andrew says, do you know if my bag fell over? Which bag? I don't know if you're. Oh, you know what? It did. Somebody, I woke up one morning and it was on the ground upside down. Yes, it did. I tried to pick most stuff up. Did I miss something? Yeah, I woke up, came down to the kitchen, and it was upside down. Yep. Somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody knocked it on the ground. Green fluorite. Sandra says, all good here on the phone with a friend. Nice. That's nice. We were just talking about finding people and friends to talk to in times like this when we need to. And so there's pencil shavings all over the floor, and there were a bunch of loose pills in my bag. Oh boy. Well, I tried to gather stuff up, but I did not see pills. I didn't know I was looking for pills. Um, I don't know what you had in there. Let's see here. What do we have? How many of these do I have? 3 of these. And let's see. I'm gonna do what can I do on this for y'all? Andrew says, no worries, must have come loose. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully nobody got into too much. It was just sitting over there by my pottery wheel, or close over there, somewhere over there it was. All right, we have STF 25. This is, and I forget the name, because this is not one that I know very well. Celestite. 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 Beautiful strands. These are vintage as well. Celestite. Look at how pretty those are. It kind of has that selenite, right? Selenite look. Celestite. I had to have Andrew's help identifying these because I've never seen this stone before. I've seen selenite and it looks kind of like that, but it's different. Andrew said this is a pale version. He said sometimes it's a little bit bluer, but these are a paler version. And these are 8mm strands, 8mm beads, 8mm beads. Celestite. Beautiful, again, white if you're looking for Cloud Dancer. You can see the chatoyant shampoo effects in parts. In person, it has a subtle blue color. Yeah, like you can see some of the subtle blues through some of the lighter, more translucent beads, especially. Really pretty. 3 strands available, doing them at $16 for you. Marianne is very Cloud Dancer. Sanders has never heard of it. I know, right? It's so pretty too. I love it. Found it today. Another one that I found today. I was like, where have you been all my life? I'm gonna put the Jasper away, STF 22. $8 for that strand. Anders is on screen, they look white, but it's very, very pale blue. Yeah, very exceptionally, like very exceptionally pale blue. I don't know if you can see. There, can you see how some of them glow a little bit kind of like that blue-green? They glow a little blue. The translucent ones, there, you can see that. I think you can see it better that way. They're subtly, very subtly blue. Let's see here. STF 26. More large beads. I have some large beads tonight. This is serpentine. Serpentine beads. These were 20 a strand. We'll do them for 18. Really good price on those. Nice quality vintage serpentine. Vintage serpentine beads. Nice color in there. Nice faceted rounds, 11.5 millimeters. STF 26, $18 per strand, 3 strands available. Marianne says Celestine is most commonly bluish, but can be other colors as well. Says autocorrect Celestite. Yes. Thanks for the info. STF 27. Yeah, I don't know that stone. So that's kind of a new one, and I love it. I love it so much. Let's just do good price, $16. This is a vintage strand of tree agate. Now, work with me here. Oops. Hold on, everybody. There's no knot. I just realized there's no knot on this. Oh, excuse me. Put this up so that these beads don't fall off on me. Okay. Really pretty. Tree agate. Little simple cut nuggets. Isn't it nice? Kind of greens, whites, work with the Cloud Dancer stuff, work with that green fluorite, work with the mother of pearl rounds we had earlier. These beads are approximately about 12 millimeters by 13. They are all different sizes. They're mostly 12 millimeters wide, around there. Lengthwise, 13, they do vary. Andrew said, it's too cheap. What's too cheap? The tree agate? See? Should have had you look at stuff first. Andrew said, it's too cheap. Is it more, should it be more expensive than that? Did I mess up? Tree agate aren't usually super expensive, but this is a nice strand. See? Should have done it. Sandra says, yeah, I had to look it up. So many gemstones, right? I love when we learn new things and can bring you new things that you've never heard of too. I'm going to put this super duper smoky quartz away. You don't see it that dark very often anymore. Let's put that away. I'm running out of room here. Let's put the fluorite away. I'm going to start putting these over here, I think, because I'm running out of room everywhere else. I'm going to put the celestite away. So pretty. That's probably too cheap too. That's really good quality. Okay. Let's move this over. Move this over. Andrew says, if I could do the Cardi B gif of her doing the look with your eyes, I would. Do I have to increase the price, Andrew? Should I increase the price of that? Or are you going to let it go? I don't know if somebody's claimed it already, so I guess I can't increase the price. Somebody may have claimed it right quick. Jennifer said, I had to step away. What is 26? 26, this is serpentine. Serpentine. And it is a 12 millimeter bead. Serpentine. And then the tree agate. Andrew says, no, it's okay. Yeah, I can't really, if I could look at the email and know if somebody already claimed it, I could do that, but I can't do it. Somebody may have claimed it. It wouldn't be fair to increase the price after somebody claimed it. Let's do this one just at 10. This is a beautiful vintage leopard skin jasper. Leopard skin jasper. Look at that. Look at all those colors. It's like the Peter site, but without the flash. I think this was actually 2 strands. I just made it 1 strand. So I think this was 2 shorty strands at one point. So there you go. I'm selling it as 1 strand, 10 bucks. Beautiful. And these are, I think, 8. Yeah, 8 millimeter beads. STF 28. Jennifer says, interesting how the serpentine looks yellow or green, right? It depends the light, right? Yeah, it takes on, but it is in person. On my screen right now, it looks more yellow. In person, it does tend to look more green. I will say that. I don't want to fool you. It does take on different qualities, but it is more green in person. Let's see. Ooh, this is super nice. Let me see if I can take this off this old strand. Mine out. This was 26. I'll do it at 22. I think this is the last strand of this we have. It's the last in this bag anyway. This is carnelian. Vintage carnelian. Beautiful ovals. Deep, deep color. Vintage carnelian. This is 23 millimeters approximately by 35 and a half. 1 strand available. Look at that. Vintage carnelian. Got that during one of our vintage buyouts. Lovely strand. 1 available, $22. STF 29. And what do I have left? This is a kind of funky strand. I'm gonna cut off these. It's got long wings on it here. Let's just do this at a really good price. $12. And STF 30. This is jade. It's a hand-carved jade. And there are a bunch of these kind of tile-shaped beads. It's really, like, the colors in this jade is really pretty. Colors are really pretty. My English getting bad tonight. Look, sometimes it's kind of more reddish. It's got some green, it's got some olive, multi-olive colors in there. Really pretty beads. They are approximately 18 by 25 and a half, thickness wise 6.5. STF 30, $12. Really unique beads, just a lot of fun, hand carved. And that's the last strand of the evening, y'all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time hanging out with us tonight. Um, if you have any questions, send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com. And yeah, don't forget, if you're in Johnstown, we have a mineral and rock show coming up this weekend. Lots of good fossils and crystals and rocks and minerals and good stuff for y'all. So come up and visit us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. all weekend long. And that's it, y'all. Thank you so much. Don't forget about my birthday celebration. February 24th is Kitapalooza birthday edition. So we hope you'll join us for that. If you don't already have a kit, you can grab kits from our online store. We'll ship them out to you right quick, and you can take part in that day. We're asking you to show us things you've made from previous kits, as well as make new stuff from a new kit you may have gotten from us. And then fill up the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges timeline with all the new stuff you've made and all the old stuff you've made using our kits. It's going to be a lot of fun, I hope. And then at the end of that night, we're going to have a live with Kitapalooza. So we'll have new kits for you to purchase that night. So we hope to see you there too. Put it on your calendar, February 24th. It's a Tuesday. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening, and we'll see you back here at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon before my pottery class. See you then. Bye, everybody.